All right there, good people. This is just a quick intro to the delivery shift that I did last night. I wasn't planning to record, but as I was out and delivering, it became apparent that Uber Eats had implemented their new policy where you have to scan customers' ID cards, passports or driving licenses if they've ordered any age-restricted items, which I think came as a surprise both to me and to the customers. Me mainly because I hadn't read the email which they'd sent. I mean, they do send a lot of emails, so you can't read them all. And I missed that one. And so I was a bit kind of flustered and surprised at suddenly having to try to scan there and all the fun and shenanigans that ensued because of that. So you can watch all that. And then we'll come back and I'll sort of do a quick sort of summary at the end. Obviously I had to edit out bits and blur things out just to protect people's personal details and obviously looking at their IDs. So be aware of that. All right, people. I wasn't planning on doing any recording this evening, but I kind of had an interesting incident with the new system that Uber Eats have where you now have to scan their ID to prove their age. So I just rocked up at a customer's door. They didn't have their ID because no one had ever really checked before when they ordered wine. I said I needed to do this. They went off and tried to find the ID, couldn't find it. So I said, well, look, I said on the app, Uber app, that they didn't have ID. And they said, well, okay, you have to return the order to the shop. And you'll be paid for that. But there seems to be no mechanism, nothing pops up on the screen. I just got my next order in. But then the lady said, well, can I just have the other items, like the non-alcoholic items? And I sort of thought, well, yeah, she can. But I don't know if I'm allowed to give it. So I just gave her I opened the bag and just gave her the non-alcoholic items. And then I've popped the alcohol in my bag and now I'm taking it back to Sainsbury's. I don't know if this is the way to do it. There's nothing on the app that really clarifies this. So, because I had another order waiting, so it's now just directed me to that. But I'm going to take this order back first. Luckily, the two shops, where the old order is and the new one is pretty much next to each other. So I'm curious what happens when I go back to Sainsbury's, whether they're actually going to have any mechanism for dealing with this or whether they're going to look at me like I'm a complete fool. We will see. All right, mate. I picked up an order from you just a short while ago. It had wine in it. When I got to the order, I couldn't give it to her because she didn't have any ID. So I now have to bring it back. But I've just brought back the wine. I didn't bring back the rest of it. You see what I mean? She's allowed to have the rest of it because she's paid for it. Say again? I don't have much experience in this because previously... No, nor do I. This is the first time they've done this. There's a new system where we've got to scan their ID cards, which they've never done before. Yeah. The other day, someone else did it. What's happened? It's Uber Eats, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But when I got there, she doesn't have ID. We've got to scan their ID now. This is a new thing. And now they said you've got to return this to the shop. No, you did right, yeah, because you haven't got ID. But I gave her the rest of the food because she's legally allowed to have the rest of the food. But this I have to bring back. The manager will sort it out. Oh, okay. Cheers. Okay. I think it should be fine on our side. Yeah, I just don't know how this works. Normally, we should just keep it or give it to a homeless person or something. But... All right, mate.
Yeah, they didn't have ID.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
I can pop that back. They've got to apply for a refund on their end.
Yeah, okay. Cheers, buddy. There we go. Is that it, yeah? Thank you. Cheers. Now, we're probably going to have the same problem with this order because it's also has got alcohol in it. So, if they also implement the scanning, then we could have the same issue. All right, well, we sorted that out with Sainsbury's. that seems to have happened a couple of times for them, and they seem happy to take back the alcohol. I think in the past, you should just give it away or keep it or give it to a homeless person, I can't remember, or just dispose of it. Now they seem equipped to take it back, and then the customer will have to kind of deal with that through the app, I think, and try to get a refund. But, the customer was quite annoyed by the whole thing, and I think we're going to get a lot of this if this new system of scanning passports and driving licenses is going to be implemented across the board. Hi there, my dear, how are you? That's good. Now, this is going to be really annoying, but Uber have implemented a new policy of ID verification. So we're going to have to see like a driving license or a... Yeah, I know. It's... Oh, I'm really sorry about this. That's okay. No, that's okay. That's all right. Just take your time. There's no rush. There really isn't. Started tonight. We've never seen this before. This is a new thing they've started. I wonder if it's part of the digital ID thing or... I know. I don't think I can take a picture of your sons, unfortunately. Look, I don't want to... the only thing I can do is I can give you the rest of the stuff, but I will have to take the wine. Of course, yeah. Yeah, like I said, if you, I'm in no rush. If you want to go and get it, that's fine. Okay, let's give that one a go. Of course, it doesn't help that it's so dark as well, does it? Let me try it. Okay. I am so sorry this is taking so long. Yeah. Oh, there we go, finally. I think you're going to need a drink after this. There you go. If it's heavy, be careful. Have you got it? Are you sure? Yeah. All right. I'm so sorry if it took so long. Yeah, just remember next time you're probably going to need to have that with you. So, all right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay. I finally completed the second order after a long time. Finally got the ID to be verified. I'm now being asked to return the previous order, which I've already done, to the shop. So I'm not at the shop there. I'm miles away from it. So I'm just say complete return. Continue return. Complete return. Okay. I mean, this is utterly ridiculous. I'm now having to go back and basically park outside the supermarket I was at previously, just so I can now complete the return that I've already done. Because what happened on the previous order, I had already had this second order lined up. So I did the first one. Customer couldn't verify their ID, so I had to... and then it just said return it to the shop. But it also then gave me the next order. So I just thought, okay, well, I'll return it to the shop first, and then I'll do the next order. What it clearly wanted me to actually do was pick up the next order, deliver that, and then return the previous order to the shop, which, again, given that the two shops are right next to each other, makes no bloody sense. This is utterly ridiculous. Utterly stupid. Okay, so now I'm getting a message from the customer, the previous customer, saying that she can't complete and get the refund. So like I said, once I've done this, hopefully this will work out for her. Let me just go and park here and see if I can get this done. All right, so I'm parked in front of the Sainsbury's. Okay, that lets me complete it. People are not going to have their ID. It's going to be dark. Trying to take pictures of things in the dark is going to be really difficult. You're going to have to kind of step into people's houses to get in the light, which is another encroachment on their privacy. All right, I got another order here. At least this one doesn't have any alcohol in it. So yeah, if there are any other Uber Eats drivers who are doing sort of age-restricted items orders. Are you getting the same problems here? Because this is going to be just a massive ball ache. It's going to be a pain for both us and for the customers. More importantly, it's going to suck up so much time that we're going to earn less money because we're going to spend 10 minutes waiting for them to sort of search for their ID, taking multiple pictures of different IDs, trying to see if it recognizes it. I don't know. There must be a better way of doing it than this. I'm not quite sure what the problem was with the previous system. I understand it was open to abuse, but then, what about in, supermarkets and stuff where they just look at you and decide, yeah, that person's old enough and approve. They don't get to see every single person's passport or driving license. And yeah, I don't think I've had much at all this evening. I've been out over an hour and I don't know how much I've made, maybe 10 quid or something, just because I spent all that time, dealing with customers, returning things to shops. Apparently I'm supposed to get paid for the return to the shop, but I did a quick check and it seems like I got a couple of quid for returning that order to the shop. So I think it was a kind of a £7 order, the whole thing, and it turned out to be a £9-10 order. So I got a feeling they're going to be doing a lot of that soon. A lot of returning to the shops. Again, though, it's not clear what exactly you're supposed to return. So, for example, if you've got, 5 bags of food and then 1 bottle of wine, do I have to return all 5 bags? Because when on the app it said return the order. Does that mean the whole order, or does that mean just the alcohol? Obviously, I just returned the alcohol, but maybe that was the wrong thing to do. Okay, so you watch the shift. I think I've mellowed a little bit about the process, just because obviously it is something they're going to implement. It's something that's going to have to happen, seemingly, and customers and couriers are going to have to get used to this. I still have my doubts just how effective this is going to be and just how much it's going to impact, particularly our fees and how much we earn, just because, as you saw in the video, it sucks up so much time having to get them to get their IDs and to scan it, and if that's not working, then get them to get another ID and scan that. There's a whole series of annoying barriers that are just going to stretch out each delivery. And then if you have to return it, what do you return? Do you return just the age-restricted item or all the items? I can see this causing a lot of irritation, and people coming to the conclusion that maybe it's not worth both delivering and maybe ordering age-restricted items. Certainly, based on what happened last night, I think for the return journey to take the stuff back to the supermarket, I got £2 something, whereas obviously the delivery itself was £3 something. So you're not necessarily getting the same to return it as you did to deliver it, which is just another way of nickel and diming us and not paying us the full fare. And yeah, I feel there are still some serious sort of privacy issues there. I don't know how happy customers are going to be to have people scanning their ID. I know this does happen in different places, but just a sort of a random courier doing this, and you could be doing it through the app, but they could be just, the courier could just be taking a picture using their personal camera of your personal information. So it's fraught with all kinds of personal data and sensitive info issues. So I am curious to see how this pans out. I'm going to give it a few more days to see what happens and to see just how problematic or not problematic it is. And then I'll decide whether to carry on delivering age-restricted items to customers on Uber. The big issue, of course, is that most customers are just not used to getting their ID out. What's obvious from delivering over the last few years is that the vast majority of drivers just take their date of birth and that's it. They don't see their ID, because most times when I rock up and ask for their ID, they're just like, what? No one's ever asked me for my ID before for alcohol or cigarettes. So this is going to come as a bit of a shock. Obviously, some couriers don't speak perfect English. It could get a little bit confusing and contentious if it's not clear exactly what's happening and what's being asked as well. So yeah, I'm doubtful, Uber, talking to you directly, whether this is a good idea or not. Also, other drivers who are out there, do let us know if you're doing this. How are you finding it? Has it been implemented for you yet? How easy, difficult are you finding it? Is it time consuming? And customers, if you're a food delivery customer, how do you feel about having your ID scanned at the door? I believe this happens in other countries. It's quite common in America, I think Australia. But obviously it's not something that's happened here until now. Do you feel comfortable with this process? Are you less likely to order age-restricted items if they're going to be doing that? So yeah, we'd be interested in everyone's thoughts about this. Certainly something I am doubtful about at the moment. And I'll have to see how it pans out in the next few weeks to see whether it's something that's workable.